Hi everyone, my name is Ieshea, and this is the very first video on my YouTube channel, My Paralives. And I am so glad that you decided to join and watch. If you are anything like me, you've been counting down the days until Paralives comes out for early access. I have been watching the development of this game for years. So the fact that it's right around the corner is so exciting. The Paralyzed team just put out a video kind of going over what to expect for early access. This is my very first early access game, but it's coming out May 25th, so just around 10 days from now. And for early access, basically what to expect is there's going to be bugs and some things that just aren't working the way that they should, unfortunately. But as the game progresses, you're going to have more features that come out over time. They mentioned that the roadmap is actually going to be like a 2-year roadmap. So over the next 2 years, you're going to see more and more stuff coming out. They mentioned that some of the features that we'll see in the future are going to be like pools and roofs, and we're also going to see things like different activities and things like that that are coming out. And so it should be out of early access. They mentioned it was going to be around 2028. And one of the coolest things about this game is that there's going to be free updates moving forward. So I'm coming from the Sims world, so that's not something that I'm used to. But yeah, moving forward, all new updates are going to be completely free, which is so exciting to me, and I'm just excited to jump into the game. And I wanted to go over a couple things that I'm excited about and that are going to be kind of game changers. So I love like basically when you're able to build your simulation player. So in this case, it's going to be called Paramaker, and there's so many cool tools that this section will have. So you'll be able to have 7 points that you can put towards these 4 different skill sets at the beginning of the game, and then you can of course develop them over time. But you'll also have different vibes that you can choose, and the vibes will determine like the personality of your para in combination with this section up here. And then you can have different social perks that you can use too, and that will that will impact the way that you interact with other paras, which is really cool. And this talent section I think is nice because it'll give you a leg up in a certain area. And then you'll have like lifestyle, so whether or not they're vegetarian, if they're an early riser or a late riser, if they're normal, and how clean that they are as well. I hope that in the future they'll also do a vegan option, just because I know a lot of people are vegan, so that'll be useful to have. But still, in the meantime, this is something that is definitely different from other games that I've played in the past, so I'm super excited to see that. In addition to being able to work on your para's personality and paramaker, you can also decide like what clothing they're gonna wear, what they're gonna look like. And this tool seems so cool because you'll be able to use whatever color or pattern that you want for designs. And you can also layer the clothing. So if you can see like here, her top is not just attached to the overall. So that's something that is totally separate, so you can layer it however you want, which is really nice. It doesn't always have to be the same way. And then you can choose different swatches between each item and change the colors with the color wheel, which is pretty cool. So I definitely think when it comes to designing outfits, you're going to have a lot more choices than you'll maybe are used to in some other games. I know there are some games that have the color wheel, so that's I always love to see that. So it'll be something that's included here as well. And it seems like there's going to be a lot more options for layering. I know some games do also have the layering option, but sometimes it's just like a couple shirts or something that you can put underneath. But this, it seems like almost any shirt you'll be able to put underneath the other items, which I find really cool. And we'll be able to see some interesting outfits. I'm interested to see like what kind of outfits everyone comes up with, and if you guys are planning on uploading them to Steam or not. I love browsing like what other people create. So if you are gonna upload it to Steam, please comment down below so that I can look at your outfits. And if you have any outfit ideas of what you think your first pair is gonna wear, I would love to know that too. So one of the reasons that the game was delayed was just the live mode, but I think the live mode now currently looks so cool. One thing that I'm really excited about is something called the Together card. So after you're talking to another pair for a while, you'll get different options on how you want to interact with them. And they can change based off of your personality. So not everyone's going to have the same interactions. One thing that's a little bit scary, but also realistic, is the fact that not every Together card will work. Like sometimes you'll get a percentage of how likely that particular option will work, which I think is kind of like real life because sometimes you'll say something and you mean for it to go one way, but it comes off totally different to the person that you're speaking with. So I think that's really cool. So yeah, I think it's just a cool system, another system that I haven't quite seen before, and I love the way that they came up with this. Another system that I cannot wait to dive into is just like how to get a job. It seems like there's multiple ways to get a job, but for one way, you can just apply for them. And if you have the right skill set, you'll be able to basically get that particular job. And there's different things that will go into it, such as like what their skill level is, but also a little bit of like personality. So, for example, he has very high charisma, so that's going to go towards his point for getting a job. And I noticed a lot of these do have like a little perk with charisma. I think that's realistic too because when you're applying for a job, the person that's interviewing you has to like you. So that can definitely go a long way as well. And if you're not qualified, you'll see like what the skills you need to work on to get qualified for that particular job, which I think is really cool. And some of the jobs will overlap in different sections too. So, for example, the physical education teacher is also in education. And you'll have different locations that you will be able to do certain jobs as well. So maybe if you can't do it at one location, you can do it at another, which I think is awesome. So it's a really cool system. Build mode is probably my least favorite in most games just because I'm a terrible builder. But I think this is basically what set Paralyze apart from other games because this was one of the first things that they announced. And it just seems really powerful because you can make so many different changes. I think one reason I get frustrated with build mode is just because I can't always put things away that, a place that I want it to go. You have to like know all these tricks and things. But it seems like for Paralyzed, you actually will be able to pretty easily change things around. which I do like. So maybe I will become a builder after all. But I'm interested, what kind of builds are you guys planning on? Like, are you wanting to do like older homes or maybe something modern? And if you plan on playing around with a lot of the tools like curved walls, or are you going to keep it more traditional, like nice square walls? I think for my very first one, I'll probably, to be honest, just use a house that's already built and then use the tools to tweak it and make it a little bit more to my liking. But it does look like you will be able to get other builders' items from Steam as well, which is cool. I have never used, well, I shouldn't say never. I've used Steam for mods, like for a couple games where there's like a modding center, but I haven't used it to like get builds or anything like that before. So I'd be interested in testing it out. Um, yeah, so either way, I'm so excited for this game. It's going to come out in less than 10 days because it's like 2:53 p.m. right now that I'm recording this, and I live in Pacific Standard Time. So I think it comes out at 10, so less than 10 full days. And what I'm going to do is purchase it the day that it comes out. My computer, if you haven't noticed, is very old and kind of laggy. So I'm going to be testing it out on my Steam Deck. So we'll see if it actually runs on there or not. So if you have a Steam Deck and you're wondering if it will work on there, definitely feel free to subscribe because I will be testing it out on my Steam Deck. And then I plan on getting a new computer early next month. So if you're just wanting more like nicer gameplay, stay tuned because I'll be updating that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. This is my very first gameplay video. So if you have feedback, I would love to hear like any ways that I can get better, things that you like to see when people are making gameplay videos that you would be interested in. Please let me know because I am learning and I would appreciate that so much. But either way, I appreciate you just for watching and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.